20 reasons why some British don't want Prince Charles to be king. Prince Charles is the heir in line for the British throne, but he's the future king that nobody wants. Prince Charles would not get to the throne if some British people had it their way. Why is there so much dislike for him? We will examine some facts about Prince Charles and what he did to disappoint the British. Here are the top 20 reasons. 1. Many people believe he's too sensitive for the job. When we think of kings, we think of strong, influential, well-respected leaders. It's believed that Prince Charles embodies none of those traits. In fact, many think he's too sensitive and thin-skinned for the job. Petronella Wyatt, a British journalist and author, said the Queen's mother, who died in 2002, described him to her as very sensitive. But he was spoiled and used to getting his own way. According to her, the Queen's mother said he needed careful managing, unconditional love, and someone to jolly him along in almost a motherly way. Very few people could have done it. That does not sound very kingly. We think of kings with hearts as tough as stone and nerves of steel. 2. He's not the best of fathers. So what is the future king like as a parent? Prince Charles's caliber of parenting has come under renewed scrutiny after his son, Prince Harry, said that his father had cut him off financially and stopped taking his calls at one stage. When the princes were little boys, they often spent time with their dad on the farm, on the High Grove estate, indulging in suitably bucolic pastimes. According to the biographer Junor, on a freezing cold winter's day when William was 4, bright, exhausting, and willful, as only a 4-year-old can be, he started to grizzle because his hands were cold. Then he started to cry. "I told you to bring some gloves," said Charles, "and you wouldn't listen, so shut up." In June 1991, the 10-year-old Prince William was hit in the head by a golf club at school, which required a minor operation on his skull. While Diana rushed to his side and stayed there, his father proceeded to host a clutch of European and British bigwigs at a performance of Tosca, which went down terribly with the public and the press. 3. The only opinions that matter are his own. While he may be sensitive, he's also quite stubborn. According to the New Yorker article, Prince Charles is viewed as incredibly stubborn and not interested in the opinions that rival his own. He loves to do what he wants and not listen to others. Kingship is all about listening to your advisors and making the best decision, even if that decision is sometimes not your own. 4. People favor Prince William and Duchess Kate. People have an unwavering love for Prince William. He's married to Kate Middleton, who many consider being one of the most beautiful women in the world. They both make a great couple, and the British believe Williams has the quality to make an extraordinary king. Not just the ultimate gentleman, but an all-around great gallant guy. He always puts his wife's needs and those of others before his own, even if it means getting a little soaked by the unpredictable British weather. He's the definition of a true gent. Whether he's campaigning for British charities, fighting to conserve the world's endangered wildlife, or protecting his family from the glare of the media spotlight, Prince William knows how to stand up for himself and his beliefs. 5. The public is not over how he treated Princess Diana. Princess Diana once said she wanted to be the queen of people's hearts, which proved to be the case. It's also a big reason many people don't like her ex. They still haven't forgiven him for how he treated Diana during their ill-fated marriage. Prince Charles publicly admitted that he started having an affair with Camilla Parker Bowles in 1986, while still married to Princess Diana. He also treated Princess Diana poorly on several occasions. Still protective of Diana, the public seems unwillingly to move past Charles's past offenses. Even 25 years after her death, Princess Diana's voice is still resounding worldwide, soon after entangled in a web of tabloid lies and public scrutiny. Prince Charles got so angry with the press intrusion into his life with Princess Diana that he threatened to quit the royal family. 6. People believe Prince Charles to be petulant. On many occasions, Prince Charles's actions are pretty petulant. Famous biographers aren't precisely supporting Prince Charles, and he is heavily criticized. For example, Tom Bauer, the author of Rebel Prince, describes Prince Charles as being petulant and uncaring about the times he causes harm. Some of his private rants and tantrums have been made public, further damaging his reputation. 7. His own father doesn't believe in him. Speaking of believing in him, his own father never really has. According to the New York article, Prince Philip considered his son too weedy, effete, and spoiled. In addition, he wasn't good at team sports and was too scared to enjoy horseback riding lessons, a hobby close to the Queen's heart. Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh, had a rough childhood. His family was forced out of Greece when he was a toddler, and then abandoned by his father. He thought that the British public school toughened him up and loved it. And that was before he spent time on naval service during World War II, where we can assume he was probably toughened up further. So he sought to toughen up his oldest son because he thought that was right. But Charles was cut from a different cloth, never experienced the same hardships as a child, and wasn't part of the wartime generation. Charles loved architecture, gardening, and literature. But that did not prove to be the case for Charles. And when he didn't live up to Prince Philip's expectations, they never made a connection. That makes people think twice about Prince Charles as king, because if his own parents are skeptical of him, how couldn't the people be as well? 8. The Queen once thought he was a slow developer. The Prince of Wales had a complicated relationship with his mother as a child. Much of his early life was spent being cared for by nursery staff. She loved her first and second born, but in the early years of her reign focused on her duty as a sovereign to the exclusion of much else. In addition to his father not believing in him, his mother also thought he was a slow developer. It of course didn't help that she had huge responsibilities as queen, and as a result was somewhat detached from him. 9. His own father sent him far away. To make him a stronger member of the royal family, both physically and intellectually, Prince Philip sent his son to his alma mater, Gordonstoun in Scotland, a known Spartan boarding school. Gordonstoun essentially knocks sense into those who are spoiled and privileged. It's one of the most intense boarding schools out there. 10. He had a tough childhood. Prince Charles reportedly had a lonely and heartbreaking childhood because he was bullied a lot. Prince Philip's alpha male tendencies were often seen as though he was bullying his own son. His daughter, Princess Anne, also reportedly fell victim to the Duke of Edinburgh's strict parenting style, but she was able to shrug it off. On the other hand, Prince Charles had a more sensitive nature, as he struggled much more. People believe a king should have these hobbies and have that alpha male tendency, which many believe to be the essential ingredients of a great king. Anyone could have guessed that Prince Charles would have a hard time at Gordonstoun. However, it wasn't the curriculum that got him, though he also struggled with that. While at school, Prince Charles was beaten up and bullied by his classmates. To make matters worse, those who were nice to him were also picked on. He was frequently teased for his protruding ears and was even called fat on multiple occasions. Such a troubled childhood is bound to leave scars on a king, and people wonder if those scars have ever gone away. 11. Prince Charles is claimed to be spoiled. As the Queen's son, there's no doubt Prince Charles received special treatment and accommodations at school. However, he also experienced assistance outside of school, from members of his own family, too. His great-uncle once helped publicize a more suitable image of Prince Charles, turning him into a perceived playboy. Seriously, did we expect anything else? From the day he was born 73 years ago, he shot straight to the top of the shortlist to succeed his mom, Queen Elizabeth, on the throne. He's the chosen one, the royal top dog, the GOAT. The documentary Serving the Royals Inside the Firm claims that Charles is unable or unwilling to do anything for himself, and that he has been dubbed as the pampered prince by his staff, according to page 6. His pajamas are pressed every morning. His shoelaces are pressed flat with an iron. The bath plug has to be in a certain position, and the water temperature has to be just tepid. Paul Burrell, Princess Diana's former butler, quoted in the documentary. He's adamant that everything needs to be in order, right down to his shoelaces. In Not in Front of the Corgis, Secrets of Life Behind the Royal Curtain, former royal servant Brian Huey writes that the prince demands that his shoelaces get ironed whenever he takes off his shoes. 12. He spends life in too much comfort. Apparently, Prince Charles has lived such a lavish and aloof lifestyle that he has no clue what cling wrap was, until he encountered it one evening as he searched for a midnight snack. According to the author Tim Bauer, who wrote Rebel Prince, The Power, Passion, and Defiance of Prince Charles, the prince's wife, Duchess Camilla Parker Bowles, heard him shriek in horror from the kitchen. The Duchess had to reassure him by saying, "It's cling film, darling." The horror. Approximately 124 staff members keep Prince Charles and Duchess Camilla's home Clarence House running efficiently. Therefore, one would assume that the prince would revel in getting away and having a breather from the continually prying eyes of others. However, that is not the case. Bowyer states that whenever the Prince of Wales travels anywhere, his butler, 2 valets, a private secretary, a typist, a chef, and a handful of bodyguards joined him. It seems a bit excessive to us. We all indeed have our favorite comfort items in our homes, but Prince Charles has taken it to an extreme. Apparently, the prince won't be caught traveling anywhere without his bedroom furniture. It is also claimed that he takes his own personal toilet seat wherever he goes. If you thought Prince Charles was excessive at home, his habits are even more outlandish when he travels. Apparently, the father of 2 is known for spending small fortunes on trips, even when he's only going for a day or 2. He refuses to travel without his private jet or plane. Once, he even spent an absurd amount of money because he demanded the use of the royal train to go to a pub in the English town of Penrith. 13. People think that Prince Charles is a snob. Prince Charles doesn't possess the charm and warmth that Princess Diana had. He comes across as aloof, and the New Yorker even described him as a snob. Although it may be unfair to compare Prince Charles to those who haven't been raised to view protocol and proper behavior as a priority, the prince doesn't always seem eager to relate to ordinary people. On the other hand, Prince William has reached out to people as his mother did, and he is compassionate about him. That is what many people want to see in a king. 14. Prince Charles has shown a disregard for animal welfare. Although Prince Charles has taken a stand on critical environmental issues such as sustainability and climate change, he has fallen pitifully short on animal welfare issues. Whereas Prince Harry chose not to participate in a grouse hunt recently, Prince Charles has gone so far to call fox hunting romantic. Animal rights is a growing concern for Brits, so we will not win supporters by holding fast to those ideas and being vocal about them. 15. His good works don't make headlines. Blame the British press of Charles's self-created scandals over the years, but the more salacious or negative details of his life often get top billing. As mentioned, however, Charles has done a lot of good for the United Kingdom and has tried to make a difference. He has been outspoken about the need to protect the environment for much of his adult life, and he's devoted a good deal of time to many charities he started. These good deeds have been largely ignored or glossed over, however. 16. Prince Charles sees the monarchy in a different way. Prince Charles said to Vanity Fair in 2010 that he sees the role of a constitutional monarch in a different way than those who have reigned before him. That alone may not be at all alarming in itself, but his vague ideas on changing what a very traditional role is may scare some people. He might calm his future subjects if he were more specific about what he wants to do differently. 17. People see Prince Charles as disloyal. Prince Charles has a history of not being loyal to important people in his life, or even to himself. He betrayed the love he had for Camilla to marry Diana. He then betrayed Diana to carry on an affair with Camilla. Plus, he went against the royal family's wishes for him. Concerning the divorce he eventually chose, while it was ultimately the right decision for him, it left people with lingering bad feelings about him. Also, loyalty is important for a monarch, so these concerns are understandable on a more significant level. 18. A longer reign offers a reassuring consistency. If Prince Charles becomes the king, his reign will inevitably be far shorter than Queen Elizabeth's time on the throne. While Prince Charles was 3 years old when he became the heir apparent, he is now 73. Queen Elizabeth became queen when she was 25 years old, and she's now 96. The fact that Prince Charles will have a much shorter reign concerns some people. Why? Change on a grand scale can be scary, while consistency gives people a sense of what to expect. 19. Many don't want to see Camilla as the queen. The survey from BMG Research revealed that only 20% of people think Camilla should take the title of queen. Prince Charles is now married to the other woman, which may also make people feel less inclined to get behind him as the reigning monarch. That said, even though most people don't like the idea of Queen Camilla, they have warmed up to her. The Guardian reports that Duchess of Cornwall has won many people's hearts by tirelessly working for her charities without much fanfare. Although she is in a relationship that has been scrutinized like no other, she's a private person and takes action to guard her privacy whenever possible. 20. Royalty is his most significant burden. In conclusion, Prince Charles is not fit to be king because he may not even want to be. Royalty and his role in the royal family have been a massive burden throughout his entire life, and it has not served him well. Had he been born into a less powerful family, perhaps he would have had thrived in his sensitivity. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you guys enjoyed it.